Hello and welcome to HPA Global Insights, where we'll be interviewing experts from the dietary supplement, nutritional ingredient, and overall natural health food industry. Please like, subscribe, turn on that little notification bell, and comment below. Now on with the show. All right, welcome to the show. Today I have a good friend of mine on the other line, Mr. Deepak Jaswal. He is based in Dubai. And how you doing?
Hi, Jeff. I'm fine. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good.
Long time.
Yeah, long time no see. We saw each other probably Expo West last time, maybe a couple of years back.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So Deepak and I know each other from we've known each other for probably about 15 years now. We both
Yeah.
were hired at approximately the same exact time by NBTY and
True.
for different markets. So we both ended up flying over to New York and spending a couple months in MBTY's International. And Deepak, he went off to become the business development manager for the Middle East. And I was sent off to China and was the business development guy for China. And
Yeah.
so you've been in Dubai, living in Dubai now for 15 years.
Yes, I've been here for last 15 years. So managing various businesses in retail and wholesale distribution.
Okay, so the 15 years, and I was in China for 15 years. You've been in the Middle East for 10,
Yeah.
so this is great.
Yeah.
So we're going to cover this like three different parts. Well,
Mhm.
let's talk about this the Middle East region. Its kind of overall market environment. Then we'll talk about regulatory. In a separate
Yeah.
episode, we'll do another episode about regulatory, and then the final episode will be about kind of the distribution channels for the market.
Mhm.
So this first segment, let's just tackle kind of the market and kind of introduction to the market and exactly what areas we'll be talking about. So we're going to talk about the GCC area.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so let's go ahead and dive in. Just go ahead and tell us a little bit for those that don't know what GCC stands for and what countries that represents. And that's what we'll be talking about today.
Okay. If you see MENA, which is called as MENA, which is Middle Eastern and North Africa region, it consists of over 20 countries, and you know, which is estimated like population of 315 million, um, mostly Muslim population over here, and in this there are like two major fraction, which is one is GCC, which is called Gulf Cooperation Council. And Cooperation Council consists of six countries, which are like Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. So these are like six countries which are very close to, you can say, in business ways with US and Europe and rest of the world. This six countries consist of a population of around 57.5 million, and they form pretty much decent in the contribution of their oil and gas reserves to the world.
Okay, so this area is a little bit more. So if you're listening to this and you're based in, say, North America or Europe or something like that, the business environment of a GCC will be a little bit, is more similar to North America, European kind of environment in terms of the development of the dietary supplement industry.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so as we know, I came from China, and that's a completely different regulatory environment. Is very strict and rigid, and there's a lot of things to learn about that market before you jump in there feet first. But
Yeah.
it seems offline we were talking. It just seems this is a little bit more straightforward in terms of kind of navigating, possibly once you get the right connections and know what you want to do in the market.
Hmm. Uh, that's true because most of the, all the six countries, they have something similar kind of regulatory environment. And like, any company who would like to start entering into the Middle East, they always start with Dubai. Dubai is a business hub for UAE, and then they expand to the other GCC countries, the 6 countries,
Hmm.
and then to the North African region. There they can expand, and again, North African region is very close to the European sector. So many European companies, they are also present over there in North Africa region.
Okay, very good. So back to your introduction to some degree. So your expertise over the last 15 years working with MBTY for the beginning part, anyways. So I forget, how long were you with MBTY for the Middle East?
Um, I was there for a year, managing the Middle Eastern part for NBTY for various brands, and appointing distributors and managing the regulatory environment.
Mhm.
Then I was moved to Bahrain. Bahrain is again a 45 minutes drive, or sorry, flight from Dubai to Bahrain. So I was there for 3 years working for a retail pharmacy chain.
Mhm.
And then I came back in Dubai in 2009. From there, I have worked with the retail chain in the nutraceuticals, then a pharmacy chain managing the wholesale distribution, and then the sports nutrition also for a couple of years.
Okay, so the last 15 years you've really been focused on supplements and importation, knowing how to, get the right documents and get people in the country and going through both wholesale and retail,
Yeah.
nutrition, general supplements, the whole 9 yards.
Right. So in the last 15 years or so, I have attended all the major trade shows in the natural food industry, and sports
Mhm.
nutrition, whether it's Expo West, Expo East, and then Arnold Classic, FIBO in Germany, then Mr. Olympia, all these shows.
Okay, very cool. Um, Now, in terms of, you mentioned Dubai as the hub.
Hmm.
So one of the things
Hmm.
we want to talk about, obviously, is what everyone wants to know when you approach a market. Like, what's the size of the market? Is it growing? These type of things. So, offline we did talk about this a little bit, and I
Yeah.
guess Dubai as being a hub, a lot of times product enters Dubai and then is shuttled off to another country within the GCC. So it's
Yeah.
hard to kind of really put a number on it. But if you can kind of just touch base on what your feelings are about potential kind of size, what generally it looks like, and growth and potential into the future.
Okay. So basically, over here, the nutraceutical are also as close as pharmaceutical in terms of the regulatory environment, and the model works very much similar in terms of registration and the regulatory. So if you see, the pharma market is close to 85 billion over here, and then you can say, very small section of maybe around 10% or 15% will be the nutraceutical market. But the best part is that the nutraceutical market is growing over 7.1%, which most of the estimation has been done from 2015 to 2020. And with the recent COVID pandemic, this has given a sales boost to immune boosting
Mhm.
products.
So it's very
And
similar to the rest of the world. We've seen boosts in the U.S. market and
yeah.
China and pretty much everywhere I'm involved or have friends talking. It seems the COVID has been unfortunately good and bad for many industries, and
True.
so that region is also experiencing a bump. That's good. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And major demand has increased over here, which is due to maybe rise in the self medication, health awareness, and the new brands have come up, and even the companies are investing more in the distribution network, which can sustain the sales growth on a long term basis. So those things are happening very well.
Okay, so again, back to the, if you compare the market to the US market or North America, Europe, et cetera. So the consumers there are, what do you think the education level is in terms of the industry for common consumers? Are people pretty much aware, of protein powders and probiotics and, taking a multivitamin or omega-3s? And are these things fairly well understood in the market?
Yes, it is still at the nascent stage, you can say, in terms of the nutraceutical. But a lot of awareness has given to online marketing, which
Mm-hmm.
is through. That is the reason you could see, like, people are consuming now probiotic supplements, and these days even nutraceuticals are available in supermarkets and hypermarkets. So where the normal public is going to buy their grocery items. So when the grocery shopping happens, they always pick up their supplements too.
Okay. Is there a, I'll just use, China's example because that's where I came from the last,
Hmm.
15 years or so, but there's a lot of issues with um, the industry being overlapped too much with pharma, and basically a lot of consumers look at the dosage form like it's a tablet or a pill, and especially older consumers, they just equate that with pharmaceuticals. They just feel that dietary supplements are just another form of drugs for in their
Yeah.
mind. And I know a lot of domestic companies and international companies are doing all they can to kind of carve out that section to make it a very solid health product industry where it's understood these are health products, dietary supplements, nutraceuticals, or whatever you want to call them, and they're not drugs. Um, is that an issue, or is this industry sprouted out from? It kind of sounds like it came out from the pharma industry.
Yeah, and if you see the last, if you see the last few years, the growth of the major pharmacy chains in the Middle East, and the retail sector, they have also kind of supported the nutraceutical in the whole Middle Eastern region as such.
Mm-hmm.
And people are getting strong demand for dietary supplements because there are a lot of health conscious people who are looking for, like, their wellness actually.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a rise in the disposable income, with with healthy food eating. All those things have added to the whole market growth as such.
Okay. So just to kind of wrap up this episode, you mentioned earlier that the overall pharma market for the GCC is about, I think you said 85 billion, right?
Billion, yeah, yeah,
And that's US dollars.
yeah. That's a US dollar, yeah.
And that maybe about 10% of that could be considered nutraceutical or
True.
dietary supplement.
Yes,
Okay.
around 10% you can, yeah.
Okay. So we're looking at a market that's potentially close to about $8 billion, and
Yes,
growing around
yeah,
7% or so.
yeah, yeah,
All right. Well, that's very promising. I mean, that's what we're
yeah.
looking for, is just different markets that have, um, you know, good potential.
True.
And so one of the, obviously one of the things you do when you want to approach a market is, you do it on paper first. And that's what you and I were doing at MBTY in the office. We were really, doing
Mhm.
all that kind of research. And, back then, unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of information available online for people
Mhm.
like us. So we really had to dig deep. And then you jump into the market, and one of the first things you want to do is go to an expos. You want to go
Yeah.
to the shows and just kind of walk around and check things out. So let's touch base. I know one of our members and partners we work a lot with, Informa.
Yeah.
They have a show there, and so what can you tell us a little bit about that and when that show takes
Yeah.
place?
Yeah. So one of the biggest healthcare event which happens in Middle East is called Arab Health Show, and this is a largest healthcare gathering, you can say. Over 120,000 visitors coming every
Wow,
year.
that's big.
It generally happens in the last week of January, but this time, because of COVID, it has been postponed to middle of next year, which is June 21st to 24th.
Okay.
So It is there for 4 days, from Monday to Thursday. And most of the leading nutraceutical brands which are available in the region, they all represent, either alone or with their local distributors or partners. So you can name, like, all the brands which are available in the Dubai market or the Middle Eastern market, they all come.
Hmm.
Um, the best advantage is that, you get to showcase your brand to so many people coming from different region. It may be Central Asia, it may be Asia, the whole Middle Eastern part. Everybody comes over here.
Now, Arab Health, is that, I've never been, and I hope to get over there one of these days
Yeah.
and check it out. But is it similar to like Expo West, where it's mostly finished products? Is there an ingredient section to that show for like the nutraceutical ingredient companies to showcase their products, or is it mostly just a finished product show?
So what happens? This is most of a, like, maybe you can say 70 to 80% is healthcare show. So it is, you have all the leading, companies who
Hmm.
are there into the hospital, like, medical equipments, anything which is used in the healthcare services,
Okay.
they represent over here. But there is a
Oh, okay.
small section which, like, talks about the nutraceuticals. All are finished product over here. So people coming from Europe, coming from US, Canada, India, everybody comes over here actually.
Okay. And so that, I guess the point there is that there's not a lot of manufacturers or OEM contract manufacturers in the region. So the ingredient companies don't really have a benefit of showcasing over there. It's more a finished product kind of.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So
Finished
that,
products are there, but there are some contract manufacturers who come, who
mhm,
visit us. Yeah.
okay. Um, but that explains the huge numbers, because I know Expo West is like the largest kind of show in the world, but that's
Hmm.
strictly health products. And this show, you said there's about 120,000 people.
Yeah.
So there are the kind of hospital healthcare portion of
Yes.
the show, which brings in a lot of the people as well. So it's not strictly just supplements. Okay, and then for I know there's some other shows that you've been involved, because you did specialize to some degree in sports nutrition and kind of following that sector and being involved in it. So there's some sports nutrition stuff going on there as well, right? For expos.
Yeah. So there is a Dubai Muscle Show which happens.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's growing show. Like, it's I think fourth or fifth edition this time, and that's usually happens every November or December. But again, due to the COVID situation, it's been postponed to the early next year. I think the dates have still not confirmed, but
Okay.
that is again a very hardcore sports nutrition show. So all the major brands, they participate over there,
Mm-hmm.
either with the local distributors, or they come, over here, if they are first time to the region, they come over here and they look for partners to, connect.
Is that show also have like a competition as well, like bodybuilding or CrossFit or any of that
Yes.
stuff?
Yeah. So they have couple of competitions on stage. So something similar to, like, Arnold Classic or Mr. Olympia, something like that.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good. So that's good. And finally, if you want to, let's just look at quickly um, a slide, and I'll put that in there later. But just name, off the top of your head, some of the top, international brands that are already in this region, just so some of our, listeners may be interested in find out who's kind of over there operating.
Yeah. So in terms of VMHS, which is vitamin mineral health supplements, so you have Solgar, Nature's Bounty, Blue Bonnet, Now, 21st Century, New Chapter, Renew Life, Nature's Answer, Nordic Naturals. These all brands are available over here. In terms of sports nutrition, you can say Optimum Nutrition, Cellucor, Diamatize, um, Civation, Pure Protein, Metrix. All these brands are available over here. And again, like, you could see like 35 to 40% of the brands representing in Expo West or Expo East, they are available over here. All the major brands.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
there's quite a few. And do you know, are most of them just operating through local distribution partnerships? Like they're
Yes.
not, they don't set up their own offices and teams and all that stuff. Most of them are just doing distribution deals, right?
Yeah. So they don't have to be. They can just appoint an exclusive distributor
Sure.
over here who will, on their behalf, register the products over here. And after successfully registering the products, they can, start import the products and start marketing.
Okay, so you just said the word register. So that's really
Yeah.
encroaching into the regulatory area. So we're going to cover that in the next episode. So let's end
Okay.
this one here. I think this was a good
Yeah.
kind of a soft introduction to the market. And if any of the listeners have questions or comments, please do put them down in the comment section below or email the association. Contact us one way or another, and we'll get you some answers. But Deepak, thanks so much for joining us today. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode, which will come out shortly. And we'll talk more about the regulatory environment of the GCC area.
My pleasure, Jeff. Thanks a lot.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to HPA Global Insights. Please like, subscribe, and share with your colleagues. Any questions or suggestions, email us at info@uschinahpa.org. This channel is operated by US China Health Products Association, which is a nonprofit organization. Please consider joining the association and supporting its global endeavors. Your support is very much appreciated. Until next time, take care.